Street Genius Pot 51. The goal is to get the kids to recognize that their values are not rational, that in fact their values are not even theirs, but rather are the disorders, and that by fulfilling these irrational values, they are actually harming their abilities to function in life. The next step is to encourage the kids to choose a value that is more important than their OCD value and to focus on that. For Josh, it's the possibility of not having to hide his disorder from his friends and family all the time, the prospect of having a normal, functioning social life. For Imogen, it's the idea of taking control over her own thoughts and feelings and being happy again. And for Jack, its ability to leave his house for long periods of time without suffering traumatic episodes. With these new values held front and center in their minds, the teenagers set out on intensive desensitization exercises that force them to live out their new values. Panic attack ensure tears are shed. Jack punches an array of inanimate objects, then immediately washes his hands. But by the end of documentary, major progress has been made. Imogen no longer needs to tap every surface she comes across. She says there are still monsters in the back of my mind, and there probably always will be. They are getting quieter now. Josh is able to go periods of 25 to 30 minutes without equalizing his behaviors between both sides of his body. And Jack, who makes perhaps the most improvement, is actually able to go out to restaurants and drink out bottles and glasses without washing them first. Jack sums up well what he learned. I didn't choose this life. I didn't choose this horrible, horrible condition. But I get to choose how to live with it. I have to choose how to live with it. A lot of people treat being born with a disadvantage, whether OCD or small stature, something very different, as though they were screwed out of something highly valuable. They feel that there's nothing they can do about it, so they avoid responsibility for their situation. They figure I didn't choose my crappy genetics, so it's not my fault if things go wrong. And it's true, it's not their fault, but it's still their responsibility. Back in college, I had a bit of delusional fantasy of becoming a professional poker player. I won money and everything, and it was fun. But after almost a year of serious play, I quit. The lifestyle of staying up all night, staring at a company screen, winning thousands of dollars one day and then losing most of it the next wasn't for me. And it wasn't exactly the most healthy and emotionally stable means of earning a living. But my time playing poker had a surprisingly profound influence on the way I see life. The beauty of poker is that while luck is always involved, luck doesn't dictate the long term results of the game. A person can get dealt terrible cards and beat someone who was dealt great cards. Sure, the person who gets dealt great cards has a higher likelihood of winning the hand, but ultimately the winner is determined by, yeah, you guessed it, the choice each player makes throughout play. I see life in the same terms. We all get dealt cards. Some of us get better cards than the others. And while it's easy to get hung up on our cards, and feel we got screwed over. The real game lies in the choices we make with those cards.